All right. We got some sound coming into Professor Alan Dershowitz from what he said earlier today on Fox Business. Here, take a listen, please.
It's an extraordinarily dangerous indictment, potentially dangerous to the rule of law, dangerous to the neutral application of criminal justice, and dangerous to establishing a precedent that each side will weaponize the criminal justice system against their political opponents.
All right, very well said. We welcome now Alan Dershowitz, Professor Emeritus at Harvard Law School, author of Get Trump, The Threat to Civil Liberties, Due Process, and Our Constitutional Rule of Law. Professor Dershowitz, thank you, sir, for doing this. It's been a while for you and me from another network. But in any case, you've seen now the expanded indictment, I guess. What you thinking?
Well, I've read the indictment very carefully. There's only one page that has anything of substance to it. The stuff about moving boxes, and that's all covered by the Presidential Records Act. It's probably not criminal at all. The one page that's of concern, obviously, if it's true, is the tape recording that was made of a conversation ex-President Trump had with a writer who was writing a book about Meadows, and which he said, look, I have these documents, they're secret, I could have declassified them when I was president, but I didn't, and then either shows it to him or just shows him that he has it. And that was the basis for the most important charge under the Espionage Act. The rest of it, I think, can easily be defeated on legal and factual ground. This is the one that should be worrisome to the president. He may have an answer for it. He may be able to say, look, I was just showing off a little bit. I didn't really have them read these documents. I just flashed them in front of their eyes to show them, look, I'm the former president, and what I'm telling you is true. These documents prove it. But that's the only page in the indictment that should really worry President Trump and his lawyers.
So you know better than I do. I just, intuitively, I'm not a lawyer, obviously. I certainly never taught law. So what, this is a book publisher he told it to? It's the secondhand information. I don't understand the espionage charge here. In other words, he didn't sell it to a foreign government.
Look, the espionage statute is one of the worst statutes on the book. It was passed by Woodrow Wilson in 1917 to imprison his political enemies and people who were opposed to the First World War. Every liberal in the last 100 years has been opposed to the Espionage Act because it doesn't deal with espionage. It deals with dissent. It deals with opposition to war. It deals with speech. And it's a horrible, horrible statute. But it does cover by its terms transmitting to anybody who's not authorized the contents of classified material. It doesn't require espionage, as the title of the statute would seem to imply. It doesn't require it be given to an enemy. It doesn't require that money be paid in exchange. Now, whether or not the law is that broad and can be construed that broadly, whether or not that's constitutional, after all, Trump has a constitutional right to have a conversation with somebody and to tell him about what he did in office. And if the statute is going to be applied to him, it has to be a narrow and constitutionally acceptable statute. So there's a lot to fight about, but I'm just telling you, it's the one paragraph, the one page that should cause concern by President Trump.
But I think I heard you say either last night or today that this really is a civil case, not a criminal case.
It should be a civil case. It should be a case between the president and the National Archives. Presidents have, remember, the National Archives statute, the Presidential Records Act, supersedes the Espionage Act of 1917. It was passed, a half century later. And so you have to read the Espionage Act in the context of giving the president and the vice president certain authority and taking away certain authority, as the Records Act did. And so the two acts have to be read in tandem. And the better reading is to make the vast majority of these allegations into civil disputes, not criminal, punishable criminal statutes.
Do you think, just in the last minute, sir, Hillary Clinton got away with murder with her 3,000 emails erased. Here's Joe Biden as a senator taking documents away, which is against the law. As vice president, taking documents away against the law. Is there an equal application of justice here?
Well, Jack Smith wanted to make it seem that way. And so he indicted Trump not under the negligence or gross negligence provisions, which is what was being looked at with Hillary Clinton, but under the willfulness provision. And so they have argued that he did this willfully. Now, remember, too, that Sandy Berger willfully put material in his socks and was given an ability to plead to a slap on the wrist. So, no, I think we don't have equal justice here. And even if Trump were to be proved guilty of everything, the get Trump attitude is still prevalent. The only reason they opened this investigation, they haven't opened investigations into other former presidents to see what material they took home with them. This is selective investigation, no doubt.
Professor Alan Dershowitz, I appreciate your time, sir. It's good to see you again. Thank you ever so much, really.
Sure.